Hi everyone, Gina McDowell here with you guys again today. Today we're here to talk about the emotional impact of having cancer. For many, receiving a cancer diagnosis can be as devastating to the psyche as the cancer can be to the body. But we have ways that you can cope. Today here joining us is Dr. Tammi Young-Saleme, our Director of Psychosocial Services within our Hematology Oncology Department. Thank you so much for joining us today, Tammi.
You're welcome, no problem.
So it seems that the emotional impact of cancer is something that isn't talked about as frequently.
Yeah, I think that the physical side effects and the physical is a lot of the focus of where families start. But then when you start to think about and dig under that, the emotional impact of having a child with cancer or you're going through it yourself is significant.
Absolutely. So what are some ways that families or individuals who have cancer, what are some ways that they can go about coping with these emotional burdens that they?
I think some of the first things is when you first get diagnosed, you have a load of information coming at you and you're not sure exactly what you're going to do with all that information, which can lead to some overwhelm, which we'll talk about shortly. But I think first is recognizing who's on your team with you. So utilizing those support systems. So social workers are often part of the team who help to care for you and your family when you're going through pediatric cancer, as well as a psychologist, our child life specialists, or not ours, but others, and then nurses and doctors. And so it's really sort of getting all of those folks together with you to sort of help you. So you don't have to do it all alone. I think that's important. I think it's also important to lean on your family, to lean on your friends. I think we are oftentimes feel like we're alone and don't want to bother other people or leave our stuff with them. But I think it really does help if you sort of lean on those folks for extra support.
Let's talk a little bit about that information overload. So it does sound like there are several people on the treatment team and on the care team, which is fantastic. But can also lead to an abundance of information that either the individual or the family is receiving. Sure. What's that impact?
Sure. So I think families are often in that space of I'm getting worked up for several days, and then I'm being told that my child has cancer or that I have cancer, and there's tons of medical information coming at them, and then all the support teams are there to support them. And I think navigating that can be very difficult. So making sure that you're talking to one key person. Oftentimes your bedside nurse can help sort of explain those sorts of things. That's why you sort of rely on that, or your physician is going to tell you a lot more about who's coming to visit with you. But I think for families who are getting overwhelmed with the amount of information, simple things like keeping a journal next to your bed, because questions come and then they flee out of your head when you're stressed, right? So anything that can kind of help you nail that down. So asking for a piece of paper and a pen, and just keeping that wherever you are to sort of help you navigate that a little bit so that you can write down all those questions that are in your head. And there are no silly questions or stupid questions. And I think that's important for families to know.
Yes, those are great tips for families. There's just a lot to take in, and it's a huge change in routine and a huge change in this person's life or the family's life as a whole. Mm-hmm. Talk about the importance of creating a new normal for this family or an individual.
Sure. So I talk a lot with families about routines and ensuring they maintain routines. Routines for children and for us provide security and safety, right? And so if you have a daily routine for your sibling at home, that might be important for them to be able to have a better adjustment to what's happening to them. So if that means I need to make them go to school and have them stay involved in their sports activities, and more importantly, make sure they stay at their home base. I think there's this oftentimes where people want them to go off to different places and spend the night at different houses, but that disrupts their routine also. So what I try to get people to do is think about what's valuable in their family system and try to keep some of those things going. It sort of keeps the distress down a little bit.
That's a great way to bring that structure and kind of what's known into the home that can provide that additional support for someone where just everything around them is changing now.
Yeah, and I think having cancer, the emotional impact of that impacts not only the child, the parents, but the family system. And so it's just really thinking about all those different people that might be impacted.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would recommend or like to share?
Sure. I think one of the things I often tell families is use your resources. You will pay it back later. Let others give you. Okay, so pay it now. And then more importantly, don't go on the Google Don't go Google searching. There's some really nice resources, so make sure you talk to your physicians and your nurses and the support team, the social workers, about what resources are available to you, so that you're not out there WebMDing it or Wikipediaing it. For example, in pediatric cancer, I tend to send families to curesearch.org or the Children's Oncology Group, because those are really good resources to get really good medical and psychosocial information.
We talk to our families a lot about utilizing trusted resources, so always remember to talk to your doctor and your support services to find those trusted resources. Thank you once again for joining us today.
No problem.
We really appreciate it. It's been great having you. And that is all we have for you guys at home. Let us know any questions or comments that you might have in the section below. As always, don't forget to like us and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.